Good morning everyone. For the past few weeks I've been hanging all around in nature testing that GNARBOX 2.0 for you guys. Today it's time for me to share my findings. Is it worth it or not? Let's go! Alright guys, there are very few things I get really excited about in life apart from cameras and lenses when it comes to gear, and the GNARBOX 2.0 is one of those few. I gotta tell you, for the past few weeks I've been testing it intensively, and today in that review right now I want to share with you my findings, and for that we're gonna break it down in three parts. First of all, what kind of problems is it even trying to solve in the first place? Why would you ever need one? Second of all, how did I test it? What was my workflow like on location, in the fields and remote areas without a laptop for 7 days? Oh yeah, I did that. And then last, what did I love about it? What did I not like about it? Should you get one or not? And if you're wondering, nope, this is not a paid review. So if you're ready, let's get started. First of all, let's remember that there is a big problem in our photographer's life whenever we're on the field or whenever we are working with other people. First problem is that when I'm in those locations, as you can see, the last thing I want is to be taking with me my laptop, just because it gets super heavy. I don't like it. I don't have any power outlets, which means for backing up anything I need some device that will do it by itself without the need of my laptop. And the second thing is that when you are collaborating with other people and they're shooting too, everyone is like struggling to get the files in one location and share them together. Does the GNARBOX solve all those problems and much more? Well, let's see. Alright guys, so how did I test the GNARBOX? How did I really test it out? Well, I tested it out in the water, I tested it out in the mud, I tested it out off the grid in the middle of Yosemite with no access to any electricity. I tested it out in the no, there was no snow. I tested the backup system, I tested using external hard drives, and I tested also culling all my images, importing them into Lightroom, and pre-cutting videos into LumaFusion, and then exporting them to Final Cut Pro in order to work it out. So I'm gonna run you through a situation where I'm backing up those files. Right now I'm turning on the GNARBOX, I'm taking the memory card, very simply I'm dropping it in right here, and then I might want to plug an external SSD. There is a little hack that I'm gonna share with you in just a few seconds to save a lot of money if you're on a budget, so stay tuned. So I just import the memory card into the GNARBOX, and in order to import, you don't even need a tablet, you don't need a phone, you don't need anything. This is completely independent, which is awesome. And if you're out of battery, the good news is you can actually replace the battery with another battery. Even if you're off the grid for 7 days, you can totally make it work. And before I imported my file, one of my biggest concerns was they would be all like kind of mixed up together into the GNARBOX. And now the team has been smart enough to actually add presets for imports. What does that mean? You can preset how the GNARBOX will import files, and then you can tell it, for example, I'm gonna make a preset that's Yosemite, right? So for my trip in Yosemite, I'm gonna use that preset when I import files, and all the files are going to get split by file type. So all my MP4 together, all my raw files together by date shot structure that is being used. And you can customize that the way you want it. It's really cool. You can even do a MD5 sum check, whatever that is. Apparently it makes sure that everything that was on one side is also on the other side. It's like an extra layer of protection. I didn't do that just because I think it takes more time, and kind of lazy. I always check my files after. Now I was like, cool, I got it here. How can I start working with those files? Can I actually start editing the photos? Can I kind of look at the videos? Well, great news, they included into that baby because there is like a whole CPU. It's really powerful. They actually build some integration with photo mechanics inside it, which makes previewing raw images super quick. And the best part is that you can call them, meaning you can actually rate them 5-star, 1-star, pick, no pick, and all those ratings will be saved and imported into your Lightroom. If you use Lightroom or any other software, you will see those ratings, and that is so amazing. I was calling all my images in the evening in the fields when I was out there on the nature or by a river, whenever I wanted to chill and find a nice relaxing place. I would start looking at all the images straight in the field, and that is so good, especially when you're on social media and you want to share stuff ahead of time. Not having to wait until I go back home to actually edit and share was a big plus for me. And last step of the process was actually getting them into Lightroom. You might be asking, is it possible? Yes, you can actually import them straight into Lightroom. You just open Lightroom, open one of your albums, press add, and your GNARBOX should show up. And that is really critical because you'll be able to import a raw image and actually not simply a JPEG file, which is key in my opinion when you're editing. Now, as I mentioned, there is a little hack if you want to save money, because I'm dropping the link of that guy in the description if you want to check out the prices. If you want, you can actually use an external SSD and do a multi-destination backup, which means you're gonna back up on the GNARBOX and on the SSD at the same time. That is a real time saver, because back in the days you had to save on the GNARBOX and then move it from the GNARBOX into that SSD. Right now you can do it twice at the same time, so you don't have to necessarily get the highest version. It comes in 256 gig, 512 and 1 terabyte. You can actually go 256 and, for example, get a SSD that has more storage, and then you would just like transfer from here to here whenever you want. They didn't limit it, and I really thank GNARBOX for doing that because I think it will help a lot of people. Now, for those of you guys who are interested in my workflow for video, I was actually able to review videos on the GNARBOX, and then I was able to import them straight into LumaFusion on the iPad to start working on them, culling, pre-cut, all that, and then I exported that project into an XML Final Cut profile that I was able to finalize at home, which is crazy good. It saved me a lot of time and allows me to actually work on the plane, pre-edit, etc. Whenever I don't have my laptop, don't have space, I just grab the iPad and I can start pre-cutting projects. It's great for me to be able to start working on stuff while I have shadow time, like on a plane or during transport. All right, now before I get eaten up by a snake, let's talk about what I really love about it and what I don't. So what did I really like and what did I not like about it, or what could be improved? Well, first of all, I gotta say what I really loved was that ability to back up without having a laptop. When I'm on the field, it's so good. And even when I was on the train in the city, now I would use the GNARBOX and just drop the files and leave the GNARBOX backing up in my backpack, and I don't have to think about it when I'm actually driving or doing anything. I don't have to look at it. It doesn't block any resource, and that is really cool. The second thing I really love was being able to call my images straight on the field, review them, and then import them into Lightroom. I think that full extension of the workflow is critical, and that is something that was really missing on the version 1 of the GNARBOX that I also had. Yeah, if you do photography only, that part is just so worth it. Now, in terms of video, I was really pleased with the way they allow you to review those videos, even they are 4K, etc. Even the sound now, it works. And last but not least, what I really like is it's rugged. I don't have to worry about it. I can carry it like that. I can take it in the river. I know there's not going to be any problem. That battery is swappable, so for longer trips I can take 2 batteries, charge them both, and I'm gonna be good for a week basically, unless I start doing heavy edits on it. And it is fast, very fast. Even with the Sony a7R IV, there was no problem. It was rendering and it was culling, and previewing was really seamless. I definitely feel that integration with photo mechanics that is running in the background. Now, something that could be a little bit improved, and I already gave that feedback to to the GNARBOX team because they're really open. Actually, if you talk to them, if you email them, you give them some feedbacks, they will log it. So, or if you see anything that's not working properly, super responsive guys. There is something I wish we could do was rename files on imports, because the Sony video files are resetting every memory card change. And that is something that takes me a lot of time to rename them. If the GNARBOX could do it straight into the import section, that would be pretty gnarly. Anyway, I already told them that it might be included in the firmware update, so I'm pretty excited about that. And last but not least, I don't know if it's really a problem, but the loading time takes a few seconds. So when you turn it on and off, it will take maybe 10, 15, 20 seconds. But I don't know if it's really a problem or if it's me not being used to having to turn on devices because they're always in sleep mode. So with that being said, guys, I want to hear about you. I want to know what you guys think. Are you considering getting one? Have you been looking at it? What are you gonna be using it for, etc. Drop me everything in the comments. I have to say that I've been very pleased with that version compared to the version 1. It is like a million times better, like no joke, it's a million times better. I think you will love it, and if you're working with other people, this will make your life easier because they will be able to connect to review the images or simply drop their images into the same device. And anytime you can save on the field or at home is time you can spend shooting or doing anything cool that you love doing. Guys, with that being said, I want to wish you an amazing day. I'm gonna get back out there. I'm gonna try to shoot something. I don't know why it looks so good, but the problem is that at sunrise it didn't work out because the sun is actually hidden behind the mountain, so I had to wait a little bit. Anyway, as usual guys, get out there, go shoot, try something different, try something new. Just because you don't have the latest GNARBOX doesn't mean you shouldn't get out there and shoot and practice. Remember, practice makes perfect. And don't forget also, something that makes it perfect is you hitting that notification bell. It's gonna make a huge dong, it's gonna be amazing. You'll be notified for all the future adventures. Can't wait to share that with you. See you guys, have an amazing day, bye. See guys, that's the reality of the review no one talks to you about. The reality is that you can drop your memory card in here. I'm backing it up while checking the files I just shot of that tutorial, while eating hummus with my carrots and enjoying an amazing view. But no one's gonna show you that because this is not glamorous. This is not glamorous. By the way, the GNARBOX, amazing. I just told all my friends just get one. It's so good. I have a friend, she's a wedding photographer and she works with an assistant, and the assistant calls the photos. I'm like, that's gonna change your life. Anyway. What I think that a few years ago, I used to be an engineer and my life was so different. I mean, the holidays were so cool, but now it almost feels like I'm never working, yet I'm always working at the same time. So I don't know if it's better or not, but I enjoy the process. I enjoy a lot what I do. I enjoy a lot sharing photography adventures, the advancement of kind of my career in a way. You're seeing it live happening. And I don't know where it's gonna end or how it will continue, but it's an everyday challenge, it's an everyday lesson, and I just love it. So anyway, just wanted to share that with you. Let's review the footage.